Any predictions? You've got no seconds at all. They're going to pick up the Chen.
Ooh.
That's a curious one. Does that mean a Carry Weaver?
Or a Carry Nightstalker, an offlane Chen, perhaps?
I mean, I know Misha plays a lot of Chen, so
it's probably a 5 Chen then.
10 seconds remaining.
And 4 Lion and a Carry Weaver. Could be an offlane Weaver, too, I guess.
Go the Black
Carry
Stream
Night
special. Go Lion mid.
Dude, Lion mid is something I would die for.
and then a what Tinker?
Slada?
Is this a one sword?
What is happening?
I think this is a one
one
Slada.
Slada.
Torres picking that up. Tiger's picking up the Lion. Amar's picking up the Nightstalker. Carry Weaver. These are two interesting little drafts coming up here. Black, talk me through the OG draft first of all. What do you think this draft is accomplishing?
First of all, their vision game is super strong with the Nightstalker and Weaver beetles in team fights. You have like the rocket spam and a lot of sustain too from the Chen. Like if you ever find a frost armor ogre against the Slada minus armor lineup, I think it's going to be super strong. I gotta admit, I'm not the biggest fan of this last pick Slada here. Like if this Tinker gets a good start, I don't know how to really deal with him.
And Bcop, why don't you talk me through the Team Spirit draft? If Black doesn't like this Slardar, why do you think they've picked it up? What does this draft try and accomplish?
I wonder if the Sardar is for that extra control. I think one of the things that me and Black used to talk about during the DPC last year was not really liking the double blink, where I think maybe Collapse as well as the Sardar might need a blink at some point because you're spending a lot of gold on mobility. I'm a little worried that Sardar, he wants to have that control by having the Slithering Crush as well as the Bash, but he needs a couple of items I would prefer before that blink if he's going to get one. I'm hoping that this game's a lot closer than the first game and more like the second game, but I'm a little worried about this Spirit lineup. But I can't count that team out. Like it's just I could never be like, oh, it's 80-20 OG. But like I always think this is, at least right now, I feel like this is still a 50-50 up in the air because Spirit's going to pull something out.
Do you agree, Black? Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I do think they will have to control this Tinker. Like if he gets up to like an Axe, Shiva's Guard, and Overwhelming Blink, I don't know what to do. They do have the right tools to push the pace. They have the SF Aura, the Beast Aura, the minus armor to get the Rosha super fast. No hero is ever gonna really feel tanky against them. Because they have like minus 27 armor or something crazy like that. If they build a desert, it's like minus 33. Nobody tanks through that. So there is a lot of potential there. I'm just worried about the lanes and then the transition into the mid game.
Okay, well, talking about blink daggers, you at home shouldn't even blink because this is going to be an exciting game with two interesting drafts by two interesting teams, and we're going to hand over to two interesting casters. It's Nomad and Lizard.
Interesting casters sounds like some kind of, backhanded insult, but I'm sure he meant it in the best of ways.
Yeah, of course. We are the interesting casters. You have like when someone else is casting the handsome this and the godly that. We're interesting.
It's like when you ask somebody like, do you like my cast? And they go,
it's
interesting. It's interesting. But all right. I didn't hear a word of what they said because I was just staring at Black's cat the entire time. But we have this game underway with some very spicy drafts indeed, and we're going to start things off with BZM here, probably dying. He's gone here, right?
It should be. Really nice blocks by Miposhka, and it feels like in this series, on this stairs, someone always dies. There's a first bloodshed here, like 2 games in a row, and in that first game, a courier died, plus they were forced to use 2 cells. When it comes to these drafts, how do you feel like?
I think I really like what Team Spirit's doing. I mean, I've actually watched a ton of Yutoro Slada. He used to play this like in about a couple of months, I think, before TI, in the gap before the Animajor. He was playing Slada a ton, and he'd go for this build where he just kind of rushes the Boots of Travelers you're seeing here, and then he'd go, the Power Treads, and then he would go for Midas very quickly, and then just play around the map and just kind of use the Midas to keep up in farm whilst brawling all the time. It was really cool. I enjoyed it a lot, so hopefully we see him going for that build. But a lot of anti-armor on this team, right? A lot of damage coming out. Yeah, very, very cool draft from Team Spirit, I think.
What I really like is what panel actually Black said in the last sentence. There's a ton of synergy with ESF, a ton of minus armor. I think they can make Toronto Tokyo into this beast that just melts everyone and the towers, right? But then again, OG, the top lane, I guess should be fine. OG overall responded to their drafts really well. This Misha Chen, it's It's kind of obvious why they picked it, right? It's versus the Beastmaster as well. He will have a way of dealing with the beasts if he even skills them as he's playing versus the Chen. One thing that I'm worried for Team Spirit is
has been killed.
on Beastmaster you don't go for Blink, right? You go for the Helm of the Overlord. But at the same time you're playing versus Night Stalker. Like, you're gonna be feeding him some tasty creeps.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He can eat them up, can't he, with that shard? So, well, that's kind of cool. Got a good thing. In there. I don't know. I mean, and of course, Misha Chen as well. We can't look over that. He's, of course, played a lot of Chen games in his career. Second most played hero, 58 games with a 65% win rate. So when he whips out the Chen, you know that he's taking things seriously.
Yeah, he whipped out the Harpy, and that Harpy is now on the mid lane. If SF wasn't annoyed enough by playing versus damn Tinker, now he has to play versus the Harpy as well. Misha needs to be careful not to... you see, Toronto is doing a really good thing here. He's sticking right next to the range creep. In case the Harpy zips him, he will deny the range creep instantly after. You see? They're even pinging it out on OG.
Yeah. Doesn't quite work out, but yeah, still really nicely played by Toronto Tokyo. Just a bit of micro gameplay there. Sneaky.
He can't approach this lane.
These rockets
he
are so
literally-
obnoxious.
It's
with the
rocket
Harpy
and
as
then
well.
chain lightning. I feel bad for him.
Doesn't even get a chance to see if they can even the score with BZM here. It's well, the score isn't even actually. It was 1-1, and now well, we don't know who's going to win this mid lane because Chen's just messing it all up. But cool stuff. All right. So let's talk about this top lane then. Of course, we've got Amar playing on the Night Stalker again. Is this just OG's answer to the Bane?
Well, it looked like in that second game that is, right? They answered the Bane really well with the Night Stalker. It worked out for them, so why not pick it again? This time, did they really adjust to it? I don't feel like they have. Like, you do have Roar versus him. And it's BKB piercing too. So that's kind of nice, right? Like, you'll be able... the moment Night Stalker jumps in and goes on that Bane, if the Beastmaster has the BKB, he'll be able to pop the Roar on the Night Stalker, and then you can actually turn on him. So that's definitely a play later on.
Okay. So they have a better answer than last time and something to neutralize the vision game as well, which I felt was really important in the last game.
Yeah, I feel like it's way easier this time. Like last time they had the OD as an answer, but it's a bit more difficult to utilize your spells. Here you just point and click that Roar and that's it.
Point and click adventure. Always fun to
Glad.
play a nice game like that. It's been slapped pretty hard here. No kill potential, but we'll still get him under tower. But so far, OG's lane's going absolutely brilliantly.
Top lane, Taiga. You called it brilliantly and they instantly feed. Why do you do this, Nomad? Like, every single game.
Sorry, OG. Sorry, guys.
What kind of a sicko are you? You're just,
I'm using my curse for good. I'm making the game, this laning phase nice and equal.
I see. Well, SF is just fighting the jungle right now. He's given up on the mid lane. That Harpy is still on mid. Like,
dude, it chased him when he went to get the bounty rune. It chased him here. Like, it's kind of like one of those horror movies where, like, you go to look out your window and you just think you see something. Like, did I see a Harpy there? Like, no, it's just the tree. It can't be here. Then he goes around the corner and it goes to the next jungle camp and it's there again. Whoa, what?
it's reminiscing of the patch when you would always send the Harpy or the Wildkin. Wildkin was even worse. Like that, you just see him in the distance channeling that tornado and following you around. It was never a lot of fun.
Alright, what's Yutoro going for? Did I call it right, or has he changed up his build
Yeah.
since then? Oh, there it is. There it is. Midas
You were,
in the
you were
quick
correct.
buy?
And
Thank you,
it's
thank
one
you.
of those heroes where Midas is actually really nice. Same like on Doom, right? Like you benefit a lot from the
Well, great
bonus
stun
attack
from
speed.
Tiger. Catching out Yutoro there on the very tip of the stun, and this might just be a kill for Amar and Tiger, although juking around the trees and Yutoro with the sprint, he's going to get his way back under the tower. He is absolutely hunky-dory.
And there's also a Sal, there's also 2 mangoes on Miposhka, so he'll be completely fine here. Gets back to almost full HP, and now maybe can't even go on Amar. It's nighttime, so it's kind of difficult to zone out the Night Stalker at the moment.
It's tough. It's tough.
Look at the stacks on OG, like they're really on point. So many ancient stacks, so many hard camp stacks. This Tinker is gonna have some fun there.
Dire's middle tower is under
He
attack.
sure is. Tinker can take agents with laser, right?
Yeah,
Cool. No, easy then. He's gonna have a great time. He's already having a great time in the mid lane. Man, this Chen is basically supporting the mid lane and the bottom lane at the same time. It's quite impressive.
yeah. Now he's bringing the Harpy and this little pesky Mud Golem bottom. They are going on Uragi though.
Well, they are, but he's going to turn around. You know, he's got the stun available and the lightning and just all this damage pumping out into Mirror. Oh, great usage there to split up the golem for the double stun, but it's not quite enough. The Fairy Fire keeps Mirror alive. The Monkey King will get himself back, but some really nice micro plays coming out there from Misha. I mean, we expect the best from him from this Chen, and that is what he's giving us.
I'm just worried about this build really on Beastmaster. Like, he didn't adjust to the fact that he's playing versus Night Stalker and Chen. You're still going for this Helm of Dominator. I guess you don't really have too many options in the current meta with the Beastmaster. But doesn't Chen just... He can still take that creep, right? Doesn't he just take the creep, and doesn't Night Stalker just buy the shard later on? We'll see. Collapse will probably take some towers before that happens, yeah.
So BZM just took the Ancient Camp by smoking up in front of it and just lasering it down with Rearm with an Arcane Rune. Never seen that before, but that is very cool. I mean, look at his net worth now. He is just ridiculous. I mean, Team Spirit, they sniff something's going wrong. Oh, BZM. He gets himself out. Toronto Tokyo is going to take this hard stack by the looks of it.
At least that, right? Like, I mean, not at least. It's a 5 stack. It's a lot of creeps, a lot of farm for Toronto Tokyo. But man, if they were just a little bit faster, they would have killed the Tinker, who now kills the Beastmaster instead.
Yep, cause and effect. You know, if they were able to kill the Tinker there, then Collapse wouldn't die in the bottom lane. But there we go. They don't get the kill, and now they get punished for it. And this tower is going to take a ton of damage in the process as well.
Playing a Toro. Tinker did TP. He has a blink already, by the way.
Oh my god, yeah, that Ancient stack gets him the 8-minute blink dagger. Are you kidding me? That is insanely fast.
Bane catches Tinker now.
As Mirror turned up to this one as well, the whole gang is here. Can OG defend him? Well, they're going to just take down Maposhka straight off the bat, but BCM, I think his time might be limited. Yutoro is going to be the one to pick up this kill. And now the damage comes through thick and fast onto Amar, but they are low on the Dire Heroes. Can they finish off Amar? He's running through the trees. He's going to get out, and Mirror's going to be the one that dies instead. Oh my goodness. Amar gets out on a tiny fraction of his HP pool. But if you live, you live.
Yeah, really nicely played by Uragi there, actually realizing that he doesn't have to be bottom anymore, it's even dangerous. So he rotates top, gets 2 kills for the life of his Tinker. Really well played. And I love as well at the same time how Yatoro he went into the Tinker and the Night Stalker, even though the silence was still there. He just stand up, he didn't care, he went for the kill. And it's the right call because they needed to punish BZM a little bit.
Yep. Can't let him get carried away with this game. Meanwhile, they found Misha in the jungle, but with this Tinker behind him, they really don't want to go for this. They just want to back themselves away. Those rockets, they're doing so much on Maposhka's HP. Just 4 rounds of rockets, so he's going to be dead, throwing a void as well. And that'll make it 3. The Toronto Tokyo is still just trying to bottle his way through this, but the rocket spam with Amar just being... He's a drone. He's not even playing a hero at this point. He's just giving vision. UAV online as Amar is going to be able to take down Toronto Tokyo. Well, BZM is. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, those are some long-seeking missiles right there. When you have a Night Stalker, it's same like the Bounty Hunter, right? Yeah. Mid lane, Mira.
Did he get off the rearm? He didn't get off the rearm, and that's going to allow Mira to survive there. Actually, holding the Boundless Strike for the very last second of the channel duration saved his life, so nice heads-up play from him.
Nicely played. It's just that every time there's nighttime, Night Stalker will follow you around and you'll be rocketed to your death. Like, you need to find a BKB as soon as possible on your course. But SF doesn't even have Dragonlance yet. I mean, it's 10-minute mark. You can't expect for way more than that. But the Tinker with the Blink Dagger is already being a big problem.
Yeah, I feel like this is a strat which OG had been sitting on for a while, and they were just like, hey, you know what? We stand a chance to maybe take a series of Team Spirit here. Let's whip it out. Show off our Tinker. Tinker Chen. The Night Stalker in the mix as well feels very, very oppressive. And they've got so much vision as well. It's not just a Night Stalker, it's a Weaver as well, with Sakuchi to get in the backlines and Bugs to keep the vision tracking going. These rockets are just going to be so hard to play into as Yutoro has to leave the top lane. It is 11 minutes, it's okay.
As you mentioned, this Weaver as well is giving a lot of info. Even though he's a carry, the Swarm will be extremely useful, right? Like, you just cast it, and then the Tinker can spam out his heat-seeking missiles. Hawk is going to prevent Tinker from perhaps like being in all his Tinker spots in the trees, but at the moment they don't really have any follow-up for that, so it's hard to kill the Tinker.
Yeah, it's very difficult. But that said, everything considered, it's still a pretty close laning fade. It's only a 1k gold advantage for OG. Tinker did have this amazing start, which has catapulted him ahead a bit. But, you know, Amar's still not super farmed. He's pretty far behind the Beastmaster in that regard, so they do make up for it in some aspects on Team Spirit.
Weaver now with the full Maelstrom. The moment you get this, you can start farming the Ancients as well. The triangle is game, and you can start ramping up that farming speed. And
oh, Misha. Yeah, it's just a dead Chen. Fair enough. They managed to catch him out of the jungle. Probably not who they were looking for, but they'll take it regardless.
they didn't use anything, right? No roar, no big spells, items. Meanwhile, what OG is doing really damn well this game is stacks. Like, they've been stacking this triangle like mad. Like, there's already, what, a 4-stack? 3-stack?
Mm-hmm.
That's a 4-stack, yeah.
Yeah, won't be stacking it again here. Maybe he will actually, maybe he's still in the right time. Meanwhile, though, BZM's just going to make sure they don't push in the mid lane, but I don't imagine Team Spirit are actually going to make a play on BZM here. Feels super risky to do so. Monkey's just bouncing around looking for some information more than anything. That's exactly what he'll do. Ooh. Oh, what information he's giving here.
Yeah.
Radiant are scanning.
That's a full smoke broken up by him, but now they know he jumped. They saw him.
Deforestation going on right now. Tiger's going to catch him out with the stun, but they don't have the right tree again, so Mira's going to be able to bounce himself away to safety. That is 3 heroes occupied for about 30 seconds.
But damn, Tiger actually had tangos, and Damar had the Quelling Blade. They just didn't use it fast enough to cut more trees. I believe they cut only the one, right? And it wasn't the right one, sadly, for them.
In that moment, yeah. Unfortunately, didn't quite grab it. They can see where the spike is, they know the general area, but getting it exactly right proved a bit tricky for them. So...
The game definitely slowed down a bit, right? Like, it's a bit more chill now.
Yeah, it did. It did. Have to do some actual commentating here, Lizard, rather than just talking about what's happening in front of our eyes. That's annoying.
Well, the Chen did steal another dominated creep, so that's what just happened in front of my eyes. And I
Hooray! Tiger got the tree. There we go. We get to kill Mira now. There we go.
You can keep your magic. I have
He's still going for the Overlord. I guess, you know, the utility that the item brings is just way too high not to take it. So
yeah, that does seem to be the choice. Also, when you get those Ancients, the Chen can't take Ancients for a while, right?
yeah, Chen can't, but you can eat them with the shard, right, around that 20-minute mark.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
All right.
Which will be pretty damn sad for Collapse.
Okay, so when we get to 20-minute mark, then both the Chen and the Night Stalker will be able to eat his creeps. So you got 20 minutes, you got 6 minutes actually, 5 minutes to make this Helm of the Overlord pay off. Better see some magic happening. Meanwhile, middle tower will
Step it up,
Urartu
Collapse.
comes in and grabs it. Yeah.
Well, he needs what? Just 1,200 gold more. So it's gonna be like around that 18-minute mark probably.
All right. 2 minutes then to make that pay off. No pressure, bro. You got this.
I mean, it's like, on paper, it works the way we're saying. You just take the creep away, right? Top lane, BZM, all that.
Yep, they've got him, but at the same time, do they really have him? Because there's no one here to follow up, and Posh is actually just going to get punched in the face instead by Amar. Goes down to BZM. It's, you know, it feels good as the Bane to catch the Tinker like that, but he couldn't just let his prey go, you know? He should have just backed away, but he was like, man, you want to
instantly
kill
afterwards. Because of that kill, right? Like, with the Bane, you can sleep him, and he was doing that in the last game.
Radiant's bottom tower is
He would sleep the target around those stairs, and then there would be a follow-up. But this time around, Like he's even doing it during night, so just feeds afterwards.
Yep. First round of the game goes to Yuragi. We'll have that Ages of Immortality for the next fight. That's going to be pretty scary for Team Spirit to fight into. Any chance of killing this Weaver is now pretty much none. They don't have the lockdown outside of the Bane. And actually, they've got Bane and Raw. They can do it, but through 2 lives, it's going to be very difficult with the team behind him.
Yeah, Bane, Roar, Toronto Tokyo will have that BKB now, but Mira
Oh my god.
will fall once again, yep.
Are fortified. Dire's top tower is under
We
attack.
really haven't seen anything from this SF. Like, I know it's this right-click SF build. It's not like yours. It's not supposed to be magic damagey. But
Stupid.
I don't know, like I expect to see some kind of attempt with Requiem, but Toronto Tokyo, he's just not really feeling like he can make any plays here.
Well, he might... No, he won't feed mid. Well, look, this game is not a game for SF at the moment. Before you get the BKB, you literally cannot play this game. So what he decided to do is just stay back and farm it up is definitely the right
He's got
course
it.
of action.
He
Yeah,
disassembled
yeah.
his Dragonlance.
Exactly. Now that he has it, he can start making moves. Or maybe they'll make a move on him.
Yeah, let's see. He's not holding it back. He's happy to show this BKB off to them and say, okay, let's look.
It's a game in which SF obviously isn't the tankiest hero. And in a game in which you're playing versus the Night Stalker that gets on top of you and then Tinker just kills you off. Tinker has full Shivas, by the way.
And in they go. It's Team Spirit's turn to make a play as they jump onto Amar here. They'll stun him up with the right clicks from Yatoro, and they will be able to get this kill. Tinker arriving a little too late to pump out those rockets to force them away, and that will just be a clean kill onto the OG offlaner.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Jumping in, Yuragi shoving in this top wave, but of course has the Aegis. And that is one of the things which the Aegis allows you to do, you know, it's somewhat of a farming tool in some regards, in that you can farm very aggressively, not be too worried about the team going on you, because you'll have that backup behind you.
Yeah, exactly. It allows you to sometimes greed out with the item build as well. Perhaps allows you to skip a BKB that you would usually buy and you can buy a Dragonlance or something similar. Not in this situation, he's still stuck with his same item build that he would have gone for anyway. He is getting closer to Lincolns, which is nice. Top lane, Poshka.
Yeah, he's been peppered a bit by creeps, by a Tinker, you know, just sending in the little army, the Chen army. And Misha will be the one to finish the job there. But in comes Toronto Tokyo. He's popping the big ultimate right down onto BZM's face. There's no way out for him. The Tinker is gone. And that is the first big wreck of the game we have seen. But OT aren't done. They're looking for Mira on the sideline. They're probably going to be able to get him here as Amar pops that ultimate and gets on top of that Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend, what can he really do? Toronto Tokyo is just being peppered by poor old Yuragi as he smashes him apart, but in comes a Roar from Collapse, but they have finished off the kill. There's a finger comes out from Tiger to kill off Toronto Tokyo. Yuragi, time-lapse just in time. But meanwhile, there's a grip out onto Amar. They found another one, Team Spirit. They are making this fight work for them right now as Yuragi going for the TP away. They do have the vision, but they don't have the interrupt. Yuragi gets out, but a huge fight for the side of Team Spirit as they take down everyone except that Aegis carrier, and followed up by a pause as well.
Yeah, the two of their supports were kind of forced to buy back there in the end, and they didn't kill the Weaver. Nightmare was still on like a 1.5 seconds cooldown, but really well played by SF to TP straight into Tinker's face and use that Requiem. I feel it for Miposhka in this game because you're playing versus a Chen. You're playing versus like one of the hardest heroes to play as Bane. You absolutely do nothing to the creeps. You cannot push waves versus all the creeps, and once they scout you out, the Chen can just send them at you, and you can't use that Nightmare or Fiend's Grip if they're following you and stunning you with the Centaur and whatnot. Still though, OG, they went a little bit too deep there with the Tinker. Perhaps he should have remained on the high ground. If he remains on the high ground, like there is no way SF gets close enough to utilize that Requiem very well.
So, very heads-up play from the Shadow Fiend, but slight misjudgment there from the Tinker as well, going a little too deep, perhaps.
Yeah, all set up by this ward that you see on the cliff right next to the outpost. It's an old ward from Team Spirit, and it gave exact vision of the Tinker. As well, I have to commend Mira for playing really well in that fight. He was just so patiently waiting for the SF to TP and then to strike onto the Tinker together with him.
He knew exactly what he wanted. He knew exactly who he was looking for. And he found it. He found it, setting up beautifully with his team now. Team Spirit bait the trap, and they get themselves a fight. And it's a really, really close game at this point, but with that big team fight going the way of Team Spirit, I think it's very much even once again, even though this Aegis does belong to Yuragi, I'm just not sure they're going to be able to make anything happen with it now.
Yeah, I mean, it's close, but if you have a tier 2 to TP on a Tinker, you know?
Yes.
Like, I think in any other scenario, that fight wouldn't look that close. Like, Team Spirit is 1k ahead, but it doesn't really feel that way. Like, the items that they have, like this Helm of Overlord, that's pretty much all of the net worth from Beastmaster can be negated by OG in 2 seconds. It's, as you can see, Chen has queued up the Aghanim's shard.
Yep.
And Night
Let's check
Stalker.
out Night Stalker. What's he got?
Actually, he's going for a different route. He's not buying the shard at the moment, it seems like.
All right. Trusts in the Chen to take care of business then, and he will go instead for the Blink Dagger just to get them further catch onto those pesky backline heroes. I mean,
do you like the way he?
do
Do you like the way Amar itemized this time around? He's actually not going for the BKB because he realizes there's too many things that go through it, so he went just for a plate mail instead. Plate mail that's really good versus Slardar, versus summons as well, versus all the minus armor on Spirit.
Yeah, so like the way armor works, right? Like it's basically at 0, you know, +1 or -1 is going to be the highest impacting point of armor, and then every positive or minus from that is just going to be incrementally less impactful. So you want to just
it diminishes a little bit, something like that.
Exactly. So you want to stay, you know, just a bit above 0 armor when you're playing against these heroes. It can be a very fine balance. We'll see exactly if he's able to keep himself in that threshold. Because if you don't, you're going to get smashed down very, very quickly by these heroes. The damage is going to look absolutely ridiculous when they get to that point. Like, they're wailing on a hero which has no armor items, then they are just going to get squashed.
And there's just so many things, right? The SF Aura, the Corrosive Haze, then you have Orb of Corrosion on Monkey King. Like, there's just so much right-click damage if they get to right-click.
Yeah, for sure. And Team Spirit, they're feeling pretty enabled right now. They're going to go for the tier 1 tower in the middle lane, knowing that this Aegis has now run out. They have this Golem up due to that Helm of the Dominator. The Chen can't really get it close enough to think, but they're just going to drop everything onto the Shadow Fiend, but the Nightmare's going to save him. He pops the BKB, looks for the turnaround as they're able to blow up Hamar here. The misfire from OG, they don't protect the tower. They lose their offlaner, and Team Spirit lose absolutely nothing for that one.
It's just such a damn great performance in that teamfight from Team Spirit. You know, you count them out, you feel like, okay, it's very difficult for them to fight off the Stinker, and then suddenly he doesn't look that scary after one single fight. Keep in mind that Weaver wasn't a part of it. So that's a big deal for Team Spirit, obviously. They were fighting against the team without their carry.
Yeah. Look at Mira here. He's so unafraid of this Tinker. He just jumps in and kills off his creep wave. So, another thing I think is important to mention as well is that when you have this Granite Golem up with that Helm of the Overlord, the percentage HP increase is going to be really nice playing against this Tink. You know, all those squishy heroes which take like 2 rockets and are suddenly out of the fight, suddenly have an extra bit of HP to work with. You know, it allows them to tank 1 more round of rockets. That is the difference maker when you're playing against Tinker, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Until Chen takes that Granite Golem away.
Yep. And then you don't have 15% HP, and the enemy team do have 50% HP.
Then it kind of turns around against you.
Yes, you might feel like a bit of a wally in that situation, but he didn't take it that fight, couldn't get close enough. You know, if you're close enough to steal that Ancient, then you might be close enough to be punched in the face by Yatoro, so...
There's a smoke, I think, happening here from Team Spirit, and they do have everything they need to actually take a good fight. I think they need to bite a bigger thing than Taiga, though. Frog. Frog in a round.
Frog, monkey, frog. Oh, that was a Hawk coming in at 1,000,000 miles an hour. It's going to stun up Tiger, and that's going to get them the kill onto the line.
Yuragi.
Now this is a much bigger target. They've got the sleep, they've got the Requiem. He does just about get off the Sakuchi, but it's not going to save his life. Yuragi gets dropped. Great catch there. Team Spirit, you know, they knew that they only needed a couple of heroes to bring down one. and they immediately go looking for whoever else was nearby, and they find
Are we
the best
witnessing?
possible target.
Yeah, are we witnessing a complete turnaround? Like the way that OG wants to fight this is they want to jump with the Night Stalker. That's literally what the hero does. Same what he was doing in that last game, right? But you cannot, not anymore. The moment there's roar, you just get roared and beaten down.
That's yields onto the Tinker. This Tinker's in trouble. This Tinker's in more than trouble. He's dead. BZM dead in the tree line, playing with the monkey. It goes horribly wrong. 60 seconds
this
on the
high
Tinker.
ground?
They're going for this Team Spirit.
Radiant's courier.
Okay, they killed the courier first, but this
Five-man
should
courier
be...
gang. Good job.
Just literally every single hero went for it. Like,
Dude, they
it's
wanted
so
that courier.
important.
It's a Tinker's courier.
Maybe they saw something that we plebs didn't. Maybe the courier had a big item on it or something. Chen takes the dragon away.
There we go. Our Black Dragon now. And there's a Hex out onto the Shadow Fiend. Yuragi doing a decent amount of damage. His Linken's is now gone. Gotta be a little bit careful. It's Hamar on the sidelines. He's just getting ulted and punched by Yatoro. Another hero dead. Team Spirit, where does this momentum come from? They're just barreling down on the OG base. OG have to answer this. And now they go in. Tiger dropping the big... Oh, the BKB is going to purge off the finger damage. Not today, Tiger. And Toronto Tokyo just smashing away at the barracks non-stop. And it is gone. And they just back themselves away. Team Spirit, they do the damage. They try to get out. Now, OG, can they catch anything on the retreat? Tiger just running forwards here, throwing out the stuns. It's not landing. The potion going for the TP on the side. Toronto Tokyo leaving as well. They do catch out of the very least the Bane here. Mahoshka, though, playing ring around the tree. But he is going to lose his life. But I mean, one Bane for a barracks and a bunch of kills. Yeah, that's a good trade.
Not only for the barracks and a bunch of kills, it's the state of the game that you're in right now in Team Spirit. You figured them out. It feels like they figured out the way to play against this OG's draft. And it's on OG to switch things around. And I'm not sure just how can they do it because of the way they itemized. Like, we praised the Night Stalker, I praised him for this plate mill, but at the moment, you still die, you know, like, with it or without it, you still can't play the way you want to. This Blink Dagger is such a huge necessity for Amar. He needs to find a way to jump into the backlines, like he was doing in that last match.
Roshan, very biased in this series, by the way. He respawned instantly for Team Spirit earlier on. Now he respawns just as Tiger leaves the pit. I think the admins will have to investigate Roshan, do a bit of a interview.
Yeah, we need
sure.
we need the devs to take a look at this afterwards, just a little bit. But Collapse is sending his Hawk already inside, and I don't think that OG can take it in time.
I think you might be right. Oh, Tiger, jumping in with the stun. He's very far forwards on this line, though. And Mira's just going to instantly drop down the Wukong's command. He has caught Yuragi in the stun as well. Yuragi's trying to take down the Monkey King, but he's got that armor. But the rocket's coming through. I think he might be a goner. In comes Amar, though. The roar and the grip onto the Night Stalker. They don't want to let him get into this fight. The Poshka getting revenge for last game in a big, big way. 2 grips, 2 kills onto the Night Stalker back to back.
He's had enough of him. And there is OG attempt into the pit. There is no grip, remember.
That's true. That's very, very true. Toro just trying to deal with these creeps here. Nightmare up the dragon. It's important, though, that you can control these creeps, because these are the ones getting vision for the Tinker Rockets, right?
Oh, definitely. They're still doing the rush. And it looks like Team Spirit, they want to contest this.
This is a messy Roche fight if ever I've seen one. Both teams coming around. They found the Tinker. Yule's out onto the Tinker. Can they bring him down? BZM go for the TP way. That's not going to happen, though. As Yutoro gets on top of him, takes him apart. Mirror is dead, but what does that matter as Tiger's going to go down as well, being beaten in. And now the ultimate coming out from Toronto Tokyo just to make sure they get the kills here and force them away from the area. But the Tinker, he's back with Yuragi as well. They're doing damage to Toronto Tokyo. I don't think he's got a way out of this one. Goodbye, Shadow Fiend. And hello, Collapse, as he's jumping on onto BZM, but he doesn't really have much health to work with here. Yeah, that doesn't work out too well for him, unfortunately. Amar's still looking for more, but it's OG who are back into the pit. Yes, it costs them a fair few buybacks from the Tinker and the Night Stalker, but they are going to claim this Aegis for themselves.
Monkey King jumping around, maybe tries to snatch it with Boundless Strike. Just the kill, I mean. Yeah, that looked all right for Team Spirit, right? They went in, they contested it, they caught the Tinker. I guess they didn't count for the buyback. Because the moment Tinker buybacks, your team fight is just so lost. He's jumping on the high ground. Everyone from Team Spirit was in the river, and he's just having a blast, sniping them off. Exactly the fight that OG needed, this rush fight, even with the buybacks.
Very good stuff. I mean, yeah, as we say, costly. They paid a price for it. Team Spirit forced them to pay a price, which means their lead they gain isn't quite as huge, but still really, really big. And they found BZM. This is a buyback Tinker. I mean, he has got an Aegis. His team needs to get here, and they need to get here now because BZM is losing his first life. Yatoro blinked a little bit awkwardly here, so couldn't actually right-click the Tinker, meaning he survives a little bit longer.
He can't hit
Yatoro
him.
still stuck in the trees, and now he finally blinks himself out as he starts pounding away at the Tinker, taking down to 400 HP, 100 HP, turns it around, he's gonna live! And both the Team Spirit heroes die instead. Oh my goodness, that was close. Yeah, Team Spirit were coming in, but they are not anymore.
The rest of them are fine to get away, but that blink from the Slardar, one tree separating him from that Tinker, and he literally cannot attack him because of it. That was just so unfortunate for the little fish.
Yeah, I mean that's why you don't see fish in forests, right?
Exactly, that's the main reason. Although there are some that climb trees and whatnot. Did you watch the...
Bosnia is a weird place too.
It's not... maybe our TV is lying to me again, you know, just making fake fish. Making up
propaganda.
Stuff. Yeah.
Well, with these two heroes dead, they will take this bottom tier 2 tower. Very nice for OG. I mean, I kind of want to see that again. I kind of don't. Like, the Slardar just stuck in the trees. It was so sad. Like, if he wasn't stuck there, that was just 2 deaths for
You just got me stuck thinking about that fish now. I have to Google it. Okay. Send it your way.
Thanks.
But yeah, Slardar, it's just one of those things, you know. Even Roshan respawns in OG's favor exactly the way, and then he blinks behind the trees. Sometimes there are games in which just nothing is working out your way. You're playing correctly, but
oh no,
one misfortune after another.
I mean, for those of you that didn't catch it, you know, it's he just takes a step away here, BZM, and Yatoro's just like, oh. He's like, well, he's picking himself. He's like, guys,
Lane, Amar.
Oh, hold on, we're going on the Night Stalker here. There's a lot of damage being pumped into him. The Hand of God going to help him out, but not enough. Amar is gone. Amira, that is a deep jump from him. He's going to get lasered in the face. Kind of asking for that there as he tries to go looking for the +1, but accidentally finds +4. And that math equation didn't quite work out for him, so trade for a trade. I guess Team Spirit will take that one.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a better trade for Team Spirit, right? Positioning based, but at the same time, Mira, he likes doing this. And most of the time, he teams follow up. This time around, OG was just way too ready.
Voice lines himself as well, which I respect a lot.
Brave? Brave but stupid, yeah.
Love
it was a nice move.
It was. Alright, well, I mean, I guess we'll call that a neutral trade. Like, yes, it was a 3 for a 4, but the difference is minimal, and, you know, it was on OG's side of the map as well. I don't know, I mean, how do you envisage the next team fight looking? You know, what are both teams looking to achieve in these fights?
It's all about positioning for Team Spirit once again. Like, literally, they just have to set up this perimeter around the SF and Bane, and protect this SF, turn him into this tower, this right-clicking machine.
Uh-oh, Mira's found him, dude. This Yules onto the Tinker is doing so much work. Yatoro's on something. This time, there's no tree in the way. It's just him and the Tinker and the monkey.
Now the question is, are we going to see a team fight? Because Tinker, he bought back, remember? Like, he doesn't have it. That's 2 minutes without him.
Wow. Yep. It's OG's turn to play the mouse in this game of cat and mouse.
Like, they're really doing a great job catching Tinker.
Holy crap.
And that's mostly on Mira. But still, Mira catches him, follow-up is always there. I just love how fast they are at responding to each other's calls.
Moonshard Slardar. Here we go, friends. Here we go. Look at that fish slap.
Radiant's middle tower. has
Goodness
fallen.
gracious.
Some attack speed from the Moonshard, from the Midas as well.
Yeah, just some.
Just some, a little bit. Then you have SF as well hitting together with you, that damage.
Yeah. The building aura also helping out a ton here just to make these towers melt like butter. And they need to do something here, OG, or they're just going to lose a Rax. What can they do? They have no Tinker. 50 seconds. If they engage in a fight here, they might just get killed off, so... But Team Spirit aren't showing any signs. Look at Toronto Tokyo, he's just strutting up the high ground here. He's not even taking the lower path. Absolute baller move as the Roar comes in onto the line. They want to take down the support as quickly as possible. Their disarm is out though onto the Shadow Fiend. He can't attack him, which means he is going to be shoved down to the low ground. OG, they are not overcommitting to this, but they are defending their high ground somewhat. But they've already lost a lane of barracks. But 20 seconds till Tinker's back. It will remain just one lane gone.
Tokyo? They did think about going on him again, but this time around they opted not to. Like all these small little things, the way these two teams are fighting on the high ground, and the reasoning behind SF being where he is, like it all makes sense. It's okay. SF might have been a little bit too brave, sitting and walking through high ground. There was an option for him to go with his teammates, but everything afterwards that happened was so good. The way that they roared the Lion so that he can't follow up and bring SF to like 0, like from 50 to 0, was very important. And the fact that they didn't truly commit on SF because they knew he has Satanic, they just disarmed him after the initial stuns and moved away. Both of these teams exactly knowing just how far they can push the limits, and they don't go further.
Exactly. They both of the. It's a really good point that they just kind of hold these lines so steadily. You know, we saw Team Spirit do that perfectly against Team Tundra, just holding a very, very disciplined team fight in some of these games where they didn't necessarily have the team fight advantage. And here we're seeing a very similar thing, but this time from OG. When they know they're behind, they know exactly how much to commit and when not to overcommit. One thing to mention here is that the Weaver did just buy a Skadi, which is a huge item in this game, but it does mean he doesn't have buybacks, so got to be careful in the next fight.
He doesn't have it, and also the Tinker, right? Like the Tinker went for Ghost Scepter. He has had that Aghanim's for a while now, so both of these cores do not have buybacks. Night Stalker does have one, but that's about it. Team Spirit is in a perfect position to take this fight.
Let's see how this one goes down.
Oh, Miposhka.
Yeah, let's see him. Hey, buddy, how's it going? This is a great pick-off for OG, but Team Spirit are actually coming in from behind. A couple of right clicks thrown the way of the Night Stalker from Toronto Tokyo as he's taken to the front lines. Disarm is out though, Yuragi's on top of him. Dealing with the ward first, now turning to dealing with the hero. So you can see the priority here of Toronto Tokyo holding his ground with that BKB, but Yuragi has found Mirror as well. The arena not protecting him at all, really. And it is going to be Team Spirit who have to back themselves out from this one. I don't think there's a play potential here.
Collapse.
Hello, Collapse. Oh dear. Yeah, he's being beaten in here. Yuragi, Tiger, everyone gets on top of him, and the Beastmaster will fall. OG take a convincing team fight.
From the buybacks, we have Miposhka using his and Taiga using his. But besides that, everyone else is kind of fine. It's a convincing victory because of the Beastmaster kill, but it's not the biggest win for OG there. I still feel like it could have went so much better for them if they caught SF with the Lion, but that was prevented by the Slardar, who just constantly knows the right targets and goes for them.
What a treat this series has been. What a treat. I'm so glad. I mean, there was a chance after that first game especially where we kind of felt like OG were just going to, you know, flop out of it a bit way, unfortunately, like Tundra did, but that is not happening. They are putting up an excellent fight here against the bosses that are Team Spirit. And for the first time in a while, the Team Spirit streak is being threatened. 9 series in a row.
One problem that Team Spirit is having, well, they're trying to fix it by smoking up. They understand that Rosh should be up in the next couple of seconds. It's actually respawning right now, but they already smoked up. They didn't even wait for the Beastmaster. They need this outpost, though.
And they're gonna know. There is no subtlety to this whatsoever. Because Roshan, he is a tiny little Roshan baby, but once again, Mira's in with the Yules onto the Tinker. Toronto Tokyo is a tough him as well as Yatoro. They're just plowing into the Tinker. He's gone, but buyback immediately. And BZM knows he needs to be in this fight. This Roshan is everything as they have to grip out onto Amar on the high ground, but they need to take him out. The damage dealers, they're not there because they're being shredded by Yuragi as they bring down Toronto Tokyo in response. He has the buyback on the Shadow Fiend. Is he going to use it to defend this Roshan? Otherwise, it will belong to OG.
It looks like that he doesn't even have to. They're not really... Okay, he actually uses the buyback.
Yeah, they see the opportunity now, don't they? There's creeps in the OG base. They need to deal with this.
Exactly, they saw the Tinker TP base, TP home, but he can come back very easily.
It's too quick, but Lion jumps in, tries to do something there. I don't know if he got anything from that. I don't think so. It looks like it's all in the hands of Team Spirit, and now this could just go horribly wrong. OG trying to fight here, but the Tinker's on the front lines. That's not a sentence you want to be saying as OG BCM's going to lose his life. They find the Tinker, no buyback on him. Amar trying to fight up into this one as well. I mean, he's punching away at Mira. Yuragi, he needs a miracle now, and right now he's just getting punched in the face instead. He backs himself up. Amar, though, is being beaten by Yatoro. The attack speed Slada just coming in and slaying him down. Yuragi trying to fight up, but it feels like it's one man versus the world. Buyback is available. Amar, he's going to have to use it here. He has no choice. Yuragi trying to fight up into the entirety of Team Spirit, but it just doesn't seem possible. Being can be out from Yuragi, but now they keep on chasing him down, and the Roar is there as well. They're going to take down the Weaver. Buyback out once again. They need to try and hold here, but it's 3 versus 5, and they are just going to call it there. No more fight left in the side.